Okay, hello there. We're going to have a go at making Venetian masks today. A bit like the one I'm holding over my face. Okay, right, this one was inspired by the phoenix, hence the feathers and the flames. Right then, to make Venetian masks, we are going to need A4 paper, pencil, possibly a rubber, scissors for definite, possibly a craft knife, though you might need someone to help you with that one. Okay, if you're going to use a craft knife, you're going to need some form of a chopping, cutting mat, okay, for that one. Cardboard can just be cereal packet, okay. Paints could be any type of paint you've got at home and anything you fancy to decorate it with. It could be gems, glitter, feathers, whatever you like, okay. Right then, so you also might be able to get a printout of some of the things I've done to sort of help, okay? So firstly, that is some ideas, okay? So pictures of Venetian style carnival masks, lots of different types, okay? The second is ideas for your mask design. So these aren't really the right size, obviously, for turning into a mask because they're a lot smaller, but there are ideas there for you to come up with your own creation. Or if you don't want to come up with your own creation and you'd like to print off one that's the right size, or one that's the right size rather, then there are 4 different variations you could do that with. Okay, my daughter had a go at using this template, so we just cut it out, okay, stuck it onto the cardboard, as you can see. All right, stuck it onto the cardboard, and then she painted it, let it dry, and then continued to decorate with glitter and all sorts of bits and bobs. All right, okay, and oh, not forgetting a straw, paper straw, okay, to hold your mask up to your face with, just stuck on the back with sellotape, okay. Right then, so if you are going to do your own Venetian style mask, that's where you can use these for inspiration, okay. As I say, mine I used sort of phoenix and flames as my kind of idea. So when I was drawing mine out, I was kind of thinking about how those flames might look and where I might then put things to decorate it, okay. So be thinking about what it's going to look like at the end, so you're kind of inspired as you're going along and how that might come through in your design. Right then, if you're going to do your design first, you're going to need to get your piece of A4 paper. What would be a good plan is at this point to fold your piece of A4 in half, okay, making a crease, trying to get it as accurate as you can. Okay, so there's my folded A4 piece of paper. Okay, now draw your design where you've got the crease. Draw your design so that it is coming on one side. So I can show you here. So here's my design and my crease is in the middle. Okay. Now the reason I have done my design on one side is so that I can create an exactly the same copy on the other side, making it completely symmetrical. Okay, and the way we're going to make sure that that becomes completely symmetrical is by using a window or a door. And what you do is you put your design, okay, face against, sort of design against the window or the door frame, or the door rather. So you want it on the glass part of it. And then with the light shining through, you should be able to see your design come through and you should be able to then trace it, okay, onto the other side. So you should then end up with a design on both sides. Okay, a bit like this one. So if I hadn't cut it out quite yet, it would look like that when I had finished drawing it out onto both sides. Okay. So we've got our design. We've got it on both sides. Again, when you're cutting it out, it's really useful to do it folded in half, okay? It means that when you cut it, your cut line is then going to be exactly symmetrical on both sides and it looks really neat, okay? This is also when you can cut out the eyes. If you want to do that to begin with, that's kind of quite useful to do it at this point. So what you can do is you can fold a crease. It won't hurt your mask, I promise. Fold a crease right across that central part of the eye. Okay. Now you can get your scissors, and if you just cut along there, okay, you can see I've now got a cut line in the middle of my eye. It means now that I can get my scissors quite happily inside there and take it right up to the corner on one side and right down to the other corner on the other side, opposite side. I don't know if you can see that. So I've taken my cut on both sides right the way down and right the way up. It just means that when I put my scissors in, I've got that space to manoeuvre my scissors and cut exactly, okay, much more accurately. I can take one side out, okay, that's one side, and now I'm going to do the other side. Which side should I start off? This way, okay. Alright, and now I've got my shape, and I can see through it, hooray! Okay, I've got my shape sorted. At this point as well, okay, it's advisable, if you want to, obviously it's completely up to you if you don't want to. Poppy, my daughter, kept hers completely flat, so it's got no creases in it at all. At this point, you could put creases in it. Now, it's not very easy to see on this one because it's all painted, but on the, you might be able to see it's slightly curved. I don't know whether you can see it very clearly. In order to get that curve and that kind of wrapping around the face, what you can do is you can see here I've cut the mask on the corner. Again, I've done it folded so that I've got that exactly the same on both sides. Now at this point you're not going to be able to do it because you want to still stick it on the card, but you can just see what I mean by when I kind of fold that, and if I were to fold that over on itself like that, okay, you can see that you would then stick. It doesn't matter which way you do it, it's up to you, I suppose. You might sort of think about your design on the front and how it kind of affects that, and you might want to then draw that back in. But you can see, if I just hold that way, that it's then going to kind of curve around your face as opposed to being completely flat. Okay, it just makes that mask a little bit more developed. Okay, a little bit more like the original ones, I suppose. All right. It's useful to do it at this point because then you can make sure it's accurate. It's easier when you've got just a piece of paper rather than on the card. Okay, so once you're happy with your design, you're then going to get your card and stick it onto the card. Now, when you stick it onto the card, it doesn't matter if it goes like this one over any of the kind of creases on the card. If it's not quite big enough, don't worry. This one definitely had creases on it and it's fine. It's not made any difference to how strong it is. All right, so stick that down. Make sure you stick it down really, really carefully and really thoroughly so you've got no little bits that are kind of flapping off. And once it's stuck down and secure, you can then cut this out. Again, at this point, you might want to use a craft knife for cutting the actual eyes out. But again, make sure it's on a mat and not just straight on the table because you'll probably get into trouble for making a mark. You certainly won't in this house. Right, once it's all stuck down, okay, that's when you can then put those across and stick them. And then it's up to you with how you decorate it. Over to you really now. So I used acrylic paint on mine. This one we used just normal watercolour. Make sure you let your, just watercolours. Make sure you let your mask dry if you're going to use watercolour. If you're going to use acrylic, it dries pretty quickly, almost straight away. And then you can add whatever decorations you've got at home that you feel like putting on. Okay, have fun, enjoy making masks.